Greetings, I'm Tsaka Jacqueline Mashego, and today we are at the global film launch of Brave Movement to watch the screening of their film, My Justice, My Voice, speaking up to end childhood sexual violence. Now join us as we go and watch the screening of their film.
We are able to redirect this 45 billion into education, job creation. Now our economy is growing at a very snail pace at 0.7%. It's stubborn. And it's stubborn for so many reasons. And we know those so many reasons are. And that's why when you look at even the rate of unemployment, we've used this ticking time bomb. I think we've even surpassed what the ticking time bomb is. We are just not expressing that we've collapsed even that hope. Because if you have it at 62%, young people, it cannot be right and it cannot be acceptable that you've got 3.4 million young people who wake up every day discouraged, let alone those who are making it their business to look for it. Because we've got those who are unemployed and are actively waking up and are looking for a job. But you've got 3.4 million young people. When they wake up, they're not shifting or raising their hand to say, I'm looking for a job. They're discouraged.
You are thinking for us. We don't want you to think for us. Let us tell you what we want. So it was very crucial for us to say, you know what? We're going to do this on our own terms, and make it comfortable for us so that we are heard in the right way and we get our point across the way we wanted to be understood. Yeah.
What is your one demand to our G20 leaders?
So we need the G20 nations to take concrete, coordinated action to protect children, and this includes strengthening laws and enforcement, ensuring perpetrators are held accountable, and survivors have access to justice. We need them to invest in prevention, funding education, awareness, campaigns and programs that empower our children and families and communities to recognize and prevent abuse. We need them to also support survivors, very much so, and in full force, and provide accessible mental health services and care safe spaces, so that it's easy for them to get the help in the long term, and also to have global cooperation with other countries, sharing best practices and data and resources as well, to tackle and trafficking exploitation as well, because it's also online, remember. So we also need them to do that across the borders.
And just to go quite off the banner quite a bit, Considering your experience, what is your one message of hope to other victims and survivors out there?
To survivors out there, I want to say to them that you are not defined by what happened. It's your past. It's meant to be there. It doesn't determine who you are in future, and your voice matters. Stand up for yourself. You're not in this journey alone. We are here to support you. We are here to hold your hand, and your story has power. Your story makes healing possible. Your story is for the voiceless that cannot speak for themselves. So just be brave.
Well, thank you for being brave, and thank you for sharing your story with us, with the world.
This, especially for me personally, I love what I'm doing. I love young people. Me being out there, sharing my story. For me, it's very big. I've become a big sister to the younger ones. I go to schools. I motivate, I share my story. I have created a safe space for a younger person, which I did not have that before. I did not have a safe space. I did not have someone whereby I could talk to or share this, but now I have become that person for someone that is young out there.
Why was it important for you to share your story in this film, and why now? What do you hope it will achieve?
Okay, it was very important for me to share my story because I believe by sharing my story, somewhere, somehow, it's going to help someone out there who is a victim to heal. Healing is a need. We have people out there who are ashamed of sharing their story. They bottle up a lot. Some, you find that they are afraid to share the story because of the perpetrators. Maybe they're threatening them, things like that. So for me, sharing this story, I believe that it's going to help someone to heal out there. And I believe that I am a voice for the voiceless. Yes. I believe that somewhere, somehow, with me sharing my stories and the other two ladies, it's going to give another victim out there some sort of hope, that, okay, I'm not the only one. There's someone out there who's just like me, but they have survived all this. They have healed. That means I can heal as well.
Thank you so much for your time.
That is part of the point I was making by saying we must change tact and position those that have these experiences to equally spearhead interventions with the necessary support. We have to balance the equation. In balancing the equation, we may be talking more to victims and survivors and leave the perpetrators out. In mathematical terms, what you do on the right is what you must also do on the left. Otherwise, the equation will remain unbalanced. And so that we don't speak to ourselves, we don't preach to the converted, we must cross the line and do that which we do on the left and also do it on the right. And that advocacy must be linked to action in our view. Advocacy is not complete without public education and awareness. It is public education and awareness which agrees with all of us. We had an exercise earlier on DM where we were voting for things that we believe must be done.
She will fight to bring others along, to the network, into the conversation, working together to change communities and nations for generations. Our world made all the stronger for the longer women are able to sit at the table. It is her strength, her story, and her spirit which inspires other vital voices to speak up when they hear it. So let it be said that light will be shed when our world is led by leaders ahead of the headlines, the voices who are first on the front line, those women who stand up, knowing the wind not by where it is but where it's blowing, leading worlds not by how society is, but where change is going. We all leap forward when one woman tries, when she defies with her rallying cries. Here lies but does not rest the best of tested women who call us all to rise, speaking their truth in this finest hour. That to their power, every single woman is entitled, but it's how they empower others that makes women's voices so vital.
In fact, domestic violence began to take a backseat because we said our number one beneficiaries are children. And we need to put them first. And that's why it's actually changed the whole direction. I've had to go back to my CEO and my leaders, and I've had to go back to even the GBVF response fund and say, we're submitting a new work plan because we're realizing how important this is. So you have changed our lives. You've changed our mission. So thank you for really reaching out to us.
Now, as a male survivor, what is your one message of hope to other male survivors and victims out there?
First of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Tebogo Mabucha. I'm one of the survivors of sexual violence. What I will say to the male out there who are survivors of sexual violence is that a word of hope is that you should speak about it so that we can be able to save upcoming generation, young boys that are coming up, to break that silence and to break that cycle of sexual violence. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. So, what does it mean to you to be part of the Brave movement?
Okay, it's two words for me, brave. I am proud of myself that I became braver. So the organization speaks for me and others. And also movement for me means that we're gonna implement things. And that is not only for us that are here, and it also involves those who are voiceless on the ground. And as a global movement, it's gonna impact on everyone in the world.
And what is your one message of hope to other survivors and victims out there from your experience?
Because this is about children, I'm seeing the current youth or young ones who are resilient and who are going to make sure that this pandemic is finished, is done away with. Because if they take from us, like my age group, it's clear that nobody wants to see any child in this era affected by this, because it's not a nice thing to experience. And I know that even those who are not affected directly can feel the pain. For us to see videos on social media platforms is enough trauma, for every person. So I feel that people are going to stand up and take initiative, whether it affects them directly or indirectly. So my hope is on youth. I have a feeling that youth will come gun blazing and make sure that they robustly get the people at the top to be responsible, accountable, and transparent for once.
Thank you very much for your time.